folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we are getting into some more ECM Link fun, and we're going to do a couple of quick changes under the hood, and I wanted to bring you guys along. This is going to be learning ECM Link part 2. If you guys were with us last time, we went through a whole mess of stuff on how to run the math comp sliders, how to adjust your fuel. We flashed the Evo 8 timing and max octane maps to the DSM ECU. Everything's been running great so far. No trouble, no problems. But as one of you guys, I can't remember who, commented in one of the videos, you did want to see speed density. So I'll show you guys what I picked up here. Let me grab it out of the box. All right, so if you haven't been able to tell yet, it is kind of crappy and raining out right now. But I got in a Extreme PSI speed density kit for 2G DSM. It comes with the pigtail for the GM style intake air temperature sensor. It came with, you have the option to choose either a aluminum or a steel bung. I chose aluminum because I thought I was going to use some aluminum intercooler piping that I had floating around. But I think that little space right there is going to be where I'm going to put it. And those are actually steel hard lines. So this is the bung out of my wideband kit that I held onto. And it also comes with the Omni 4-bar map sensor. And this is a DSM style map sensor, and this replaces the factory MDP sensor that's up there that runs the EGR system. It is plug and play. Don't really have to mess with anything other than that. We're gonna plug this in. Oh, big old truck driving by. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna get this thing wired in. We are going to set this up to log boost. We're not gonna switch over to speed density right away. What we're gonna do, it says at the bottom of the ECM Link website, on the web page for speed density install, if you actually have this 3-inch GM sensor running, we have the ECM Link cable here that we grabbed, and it actually has a breakout point labeled IAT, and there's another one for Barrow. We're gonna wire the IAT in right off of this, and we're going to continue to use the GM MAF for the short term until we get some base logs done and we dial in the VE table a little bit. But that's going to be in the next video. Today we're going to just get all these parts installed. So first things first, we're going to come over here and we're going to disconnect the MDP sensor, and we're going to get the new Omni Power sensor thrown in there. We're going to get this thing logging boost. We do have the autometer boost gauge still, but I'd prefer to be able to see what my boost is during the logs as opposed to just looking up and seeing what it is. You never know in your logs what your boost is that you're running unless you can log it. So this is going to help out massively. This is the main reason I wanted to get this kit. It was $105. It came in a day. So we're going to get this plugged in, and then we're going to get to building our, well, not really building, but assembling our bung and IAT sensor. We're gonna snip these connections off here and follow the wiring instructions off the ECM wiki. Get it all wired in, and as you can see, there's 2 wires here and 3 wires there, so I'll show you guys how to do that in just a second. But let's grab some wrenches and get this MDP sensor popped off, get that locking tab pulled out, and clean off that little port. We're gonna get our map sensor installed first and foremost. So we got the brand new Omni 4-bar map sensor installed. It plugs right into the stock plug with the stock fastening clip. And if you'll notice, the 2 bolts on the sides are 8mm, by the way. I took those to the wire wheel and got them shining up again and cleaned the surface, the mating surface between the sensor and the intake manifold there. I cleaned that off with the wired wheel. It had a little bit of corrosion on it. I just cleaned it off with some silicone and first PB blaster, and I scrubbed it off. Used a little brass wire brush. I don't know where I set it, someplace. But I just cleaned the surface. It's aluminum, so you want to be careful with it. Got a nice clean mating surface. Put a little tiny bit of dielectric on the O-ring to the sensor. And here is the old MDP sensor, and as you can see, it's got oil all over the face of it. It's really grungy. The O-ring in it is pretty much pressed flat. This was actually a minor boost leak that I had, and I didn't address it until today because I just didn't have the sensor to replace it. So this is the stock one. I'm sure you can see the numbers somewhat. Yeah, this thing still works, but we're gonna throw this in the spare parts bin for now. And now that that's installed, we're gonna move ourselves right along into getting the wiring done for the IAT. So first thing is first, this is the GM cable. So this allows you to run the 3, 3.5, and 3 3/4, I believe, or is it a 4-inch sensor? I can't believe it. This GM sensor, it's a 3.5-inch GM sensor. It's the MAF. It's got a directional arrow on it. Airflow goes that way. The cable coming off of it, they provide you with the 2 breakout points. You have a barrow and an IAT. Well, we're not worried about the barrow right now. We're worried about the IAT. Now, like I said earlier, we looked at the pigtail. This pigtail is only a black wire and a yellow wire. There's 2 wires here. But if you look in the end of this, there's 3. Now, the red, violet colored one is your power, black is ground, and yellow is the signal, the IAT signal. And if you read the ECM link page, it tells you that this sensor is run as a pass-through sensor, so we don't need to power it. It will actually draw its own signal right through this little yellow line here. We're gonna hook up the ground to the black wire, so black to black, yellow to yellow, and the purple wire we're actually not gonna touch. If anything, we're gonna re-insulate it and rewrap it and heat shrink cover it, and that will be the harness for our IAT sensor. Once we're done with that, we're gonna take this upper intercooler piece off, and I think right here on this back side is where I'm going to mount my sensor, and that way it's removable. If I wanna go back to MAF, or if I wanna switch to full speed density after I get it dialed in, I can do that. So we're gonna get this thing all pulled apart real fast and wire this up. We got the new wire all soldered and heat shrink together, and this is just from the IAT breakout point. We still have the little barrow labeled one sitting over here, and right now this cable runs into the sensor, runs to the stock plug, which I put down here, and this IAT sensor plug is going to go right in the side of this pipe right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to loosen up my clamps and take this little section of intercooler pipe out. But first I'm going to mark where I want to end up drilling it and welding to it, and we're going to go grab our little welder and start putting the bung together on this so we can get our IAT hooked up. We've got our upper intercooler pipe out. Here it is. The X right here is where I'm going to drill this out so I can fit my steel bung on. I'm going to clean this off real fast, get set up with the welder, and we're gonna buzz this thing together. And yeah, once that's done, it's going back in. Well guys, after messing around with this for quite a few minutes here, we got it all set up. Something else I wanted to mention. Oh, let me grab it here. Now the kit from Extreme PSI is great. It's $105 plus shipping, but the bung that I got, the aluminum bung, did not fit the IAT at all. It was actually too small, and it's just the wrong thread pitch. So luckily I had the one sitting around for my wideband, the one I saved. So we got this in here. It's all welded in. It's ugly. It's not painted because it's wet and raining out, and I didn't want to wait for 60 hours for the paint to dry. But that's the end result there. I'm gonna stick this back in and get the sensor plugged in, do a little bit of wire management real quick, and we are gonna jump inside the car. We're gonna set our ECU up to log that map sensor, and we'll see if we can get the IAT to read. Alright boys, we've got everything all put together. Sensors in here and the maps up top. I'm gonna put everything away, go grab the laptop, and we're gonna go for a little drive. Alright boys, now that we've got everything hooked up under the hood, our new IAT is wired in, our new map sensor, our Omni 4-bar map sensor is in place of the MDP sensor on the stock manifold. We're in here, we're plugged in, we're connected, and it's time to set up the ECU pins so that they know where each sensor is and what to log. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to connect to your ECU. We have the car running this part, it doesn't matter. What we're going to do is we are going to go into ECU config live, and that's this one right here. Remember, you can't change anything in direct access with the car running. So we're going to go into live, which you can change while the car is running. We're going to click that. We're going to come down here to the bottom where it says ECU inputs. We're going to click that, and right here we have our wideband picked. Intake temp. We're going to go through our list. We have a GM. There's a ton of them in here. We're actually going to select the one that we put in, and depending on what you're using, this kit comes with a GM IAT. So we select that. Then we come down below that, and MDP is what the sensor is that we removed and replaced. We are going to choose the Omni Power 4-bar, which we have hooked up, and manifold manifold pressure MAP used for MAF clamp. Well, we're going to select the MDP sensor here. We're also going to go to map sensor type, and we're going to pick the Omni Power 4-bar from that drop down, and we can also come into this little thing displayed as, and you can type in your own name for your own sensor, whatever you want. And like I said before, we're not getting rid of the MAF sensor yet. We're going to start tuning with speed density here soon. That's going to be in the next video. But for right now, we're just going to get everything set up so we can log our boost and we can log our intake air temperature. And those couple of values are going to help us out for sure. So, all right, so now that we've got all this stuff set to what we want it to be set at, we're going to click on our captured values, and we are going to go to the name that I typed in, which I typed in boost next to the MDP sensor. We are going to click boost, and we're going to add to device. We're also going to pick our IAT, GM IAT, which is right here, and we're going to click add to device, and we're going to hit OK. Now we're going to save this to the ECU. Now when I did this, I ended up getting a couple of red dots over here signifying that some stuff had been changed or had not been saved yet. Where was it? MAF clamp, I think it was. Where was it? Oh no, it was EGR, and the fuel pressure solenoid tabs got 2 red dots here after I saved everything, meaning something had been changed but had not been saved. I kept the enable normal factory settings here because changing the MDP threw these things into a different mode, I guess, but it set up enable user defined settings, and I didn't want that, so I just re-clicked enable normal factory settings for the fuel pressure solenoid and for the EGR, and then I saved that to ECU. So once all that's done, now we're going to go back over here to the ECM link info, and we are going to start a capture or a stream, whatever you want to start. So now that we can see our logging screen with all of our values being logged, we're going to right click on it. We're going to go to displayed values, and we're going to go down here through our list and pick everything that we just added. So we just added that sensor as boost, so we're going to add boost, which is our map sensor, to the display, and we're also going to add our GM IAT to the display, and we're going to hit OK. Boom. We've got our brand new boost gauge, well, boost sensor, our Omni Power 4-bar, logging 19 inches in mercury of vacuum, and the GM IAT says it's 85 degrees under the hood right now. So that's perfect. So now we're going to take a quick drive around the block and just verify that everything's working correctly. One other quick thing while we have this all put on here, we've added the boost and IAT at the bottom here, and we want to make sure that those logs stick around, or those values stay. So we're going to right click, and we are going to click on set all default preferences. So everything that we have set up, all the little lines that we have checked, so we have timing showing, knock retard, wideband, AFR, wideband factor, we have boost and IAT showing up here in our log. All this other stuff is still being logged, but we don't have it displayed on our graph. So now that we've done our right click and we've set all default preferences, every time that you log in or disconnect and shut your laptop off, if you plug back in later and connect and open up a stream or a capture, it will show all of the values that you just saved. So I'm going to try to leave you guys right here. Hopefully don't get bounced around too much, but I'm going to go ahead and take a quick trip down the road and we'll see what this looks like. And remember, we're looking at this value right here. This is in vacuum right now. I want to see what it says, if it registers boost the same as what my gauge on my A-pillar says. So let's go for a quick cruise and check out how everything works. All right, boys, I've got you kind of held up on the seat here. Let's see. Hopefully you can keep a good eye on that. Let's see if she gets a little bit of boost. Yeah, she definitely reads. 23 vacuum. Oh yeah. I like it a lot. Let's see if we can whip around in a parking lot real fast. We'll go back down. Yep, she works. Well, with that being said, the boost is turned down pretty low. That was about 3/4 throttle, and I think I have it set right now at 16 pounds. So we're gonna shut this off right now and head back to the house, and we'll see how everything looks. All right, folks, that's gonna do it for today. We have boost being logged, we have an intake air temperature sensor running, and until next time, we're going to leave it right there. Definitely stay tuned, because we are going to be diving into tuning up with speed density here very, very soon. That's going to be the part 3, and we also have 1 or 2 more things up our sleeve. We have a couple more new parts we're going to throw on, some more tricks, and some more information to share as far as ECM Link goes. I'm delving into the SD VE tables right now. I'm starting to learn it all, so I don't want to show you guys everything in case there may be something incorrect, but I'm going to go through and show you guys how to set it up, how to do some basic tuning with it. And like I said, I'm still new at this ECM Link stuff, but for all the information I've gone through, all the questions I've had asked and answered, I've been doing tons and tons of reading. You have no idea. I'm really trying to get a good grasp on this program to hopefully dial in some more of this stuff. But so far, it's been extremely fun. I'll link in the description the same speed density kit that I picked up from Extreme PSI. Mind you, like I said earlier, the aluminum bung that I did get from that kit was not the correct size bung. It was not the right thread pitch. So definitely keep that in mind when you're ordering yours. If you end up wanting to go for the steel bung, that one will probably fit. I can't, guarantee that, but the aluminum one that I got did not fit. I used a steel one and I had no problem. So we're all set. We're logging boost finally. We're getting ready to throw in some speed density. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, again, give it that thumbs up down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Stay tuned. Follow us over here on Instagram at Today's Project Guide. Check us out on Patreon if you've liked any of this information or if it's helped you out. Why don't you go over there and consider joining the Patreon and sending a little small donation in the hat, and that'll help keep us moving forward. And the more we make from these videos, the more information we can get out there to hopefully share with the rest of you guys. And feel free to drop a comment down below if you want to see something different done, or if you have some tips, constructive criticism, or a better way than what I've done, something that I've showed you. Drop it down below. I love hearing that stuff. And also, I think we're going to start something new with all the DSM subscriber car show that I wanted to do, the online car show. We have a ton of photos and video clips that got submitted in, and there's a pretty large subscriber base with you guys now. Unfortunately, I didn't hit the number that I wanted to hit to have a nice long episode with all your rides, so instead I think we're going to have a DSM of the episode. Whatever episode I do, I'm going to just start sharing your rides with the whole rest of the channel so everybody can see your project. So if you guys want to have your car shown at the end of the episode and highlighted, some of the cool stuff you've done, some of the customizations you've done, the car that you've built or the car that you're in the process of building, whatever it is, as long as it's powered by a 4G63, we'll rock it. Even if you got a Evo 10, a 4B11, throw it in here. I'd love to share your rides with the world because mine is only one example. So anyways, this is the end of part 2. We will see you guys again very, very soon. And until next time, you take care. And we'll catch you for another fun episode right here at Today's Project Guide. Thanks for watching, guys.